Hey there, my friends, it's Dave Wood. I wanted to welcome you to another episode of The Daily Shortcut. Today we're going to talk about one of my favorite subjects, which is the art and science of creating personal breakthroughs. And so what I want to do is I want to cover a few points with you, share with you how I've created a few of my own breakthroughs. And what I really want to do is not have you have a breakthrough today. I want you to have a breakthrough every day. I want you to have a breakthrough every day of your life and have your breakthroughs compound and compound and compound. And so you don't just have a breakthrough and have more success, you have breakthrough after breakthrough after breakthrough that compounds your success, because there's actually an art and a science to creating breakthroughs. And today I'm going to give you 7 keys to doing that. And so here's the thing that I want you to understand. There's a few key points before we get into the art and the science of creating breakthroughs. And the first one is that success is actually a journey. It's not a set point in time. And any journey is going to have obstacles, not at any one point in time, but there's going to be obstacles scattered through the journey. And so if you're going to succeed and if you're going to do great things, you're going to have a long journey. And in that long journey, there's going to be not one, but lots of obstacles. In fact, there might be lots and lots. And so today, I want to talk to you about the art of creating breakthroughs when obstacles appear, which is really what a breakthrough is. It's a point at which you don't really know what to do, or maybe you don't have the resources to succeed what you want, or maybe you can't get to the next level, and then you were working and working and working and working, and then suddenly you break through that spot, and then it's like you can do things at a different level. And so every journey, all outcomes and all goals, they're just going to have those obstacles. They're part of life. Second principles is that in addition to obstacles being part of the journey, the breakthroughs are part of the journey. And if you want to accomplish anything, you're going to have both. And you just need to accept it. When things appear, it's not a sign that you're doing the wrong thing. It's not a sign that the thing that you're doing isn't working. It's a sign that you're actually probably doing the right thing, because you're encountering things maybe that have been there for a long time and maybe you've never had to deal with before. That's something that I found with myself, with my businesses, with the people that I work with, is that what happens when you succeed at a bigger level, it kind of highlights all of your humanness, right? And all humans have humanness. We have errors, we have things that we do wrong, we have mistakes we make, we have things we do in anger, we have things where we really need to clean up that area of our life, where we really need to tone up some level of our skill, and we've never needed to do it. And the reason we haven't needed to do it isn't because that weakness hasn't been there, it's because there's been nothing to highlight the weakness, because we haven't been progressing. And so obstacles and also breakthroughs are a sign that you're actually doing things right. Here's the next thing, is that I'm going to give you a metaphor, and I always like to use this because it really is a metaphor for what obstacles are there for. And that's the Moses metaphor. You know, there's that story right at the beginning of the Old Testament where Moses is, he's the children of Israel slaves, right, in Egypt, and he leads them out of slavery, and then when he's leading them out of slavery, they encounter a giant ocean, the Red Sea, right? And then Moses goes and he parts the sea and he walks through it, right? And when he did that, I want you to just imagine this. Whether you believe that story or not, it's a cool metaphor. And the reason is because there's this giant impassable obstacle, and then a miracle happens, it parts, and then they walk through it. But I want you to think about that for a second, because they're looking at that giant parting in the ocean, and there's these giant walls of water on either side. Do you think that that'd be the easiest thing in the world, to step through that inside 2 giant walls of water that really could collapse on you at any time? No, that would not be the easiest thing in the world to do. But what did Moses do? Moses walked right into it in front of everyone, and then he led them through. So goes the metaphor, right? And so when you're encountering an obstacle, this is what I want you to understand, is that you can't really lead people out of bondage that you haven't escaped from, because you can't relate to that group of people. And so if you're having an obstacle of some kind, maybe you need to grow your people skills, maybe you need to learn some more marketing skills, maybe you need to learn some more closing skills, maybe you need to learn how to make sales videos a little bit better, maybe you just need some personal development and you need to act a little bit differently because you're not treating people right. Whatever your obstacle is, whether it's an organization obstacle, whether it's a thought obstacle, if it's a faith obstacle, if it's a process obstacle, right? When you get out of that, you can lead other people through that, and when you lead other people through that obstacle, you can create change in the world. At the same time, you can make a lot more money. So obstacles are actually a good thing. Does that make sense? So there's some keys in order to have daily breakthroughs and get out of obstacles daily, and the more obstacles that appear, the better it is for you. I promise the better it is. And I'm going to give you 7 of them today. So here are 7 keys to opening the doorway to a new future in your life every time obstacles appear. Number 1, realize now that every problem that you're ever going to encounter, it's like a mountain, okay? I love metaphors, visual especially. So a mountain, what does it have? It has a part over on this side of the mountain that has, it's like level with the ground, and then over on this side of the mountain, it's level with the ground, right? and then the mountain has a peak. And so all problems are like that. They start, they have a peak, and they have an end, and then life continues on as normal. But on the other side of that mountain, there's actually a lot of blessing over there, right? And so a lot of times when people are in the middle of an obstacle, they don't see that. When people are in the middle of an obstacle, all they see is they're like, oh my gosh, this is so humongous. But they don't remember that just last year they had an obstacle, and that obstacle had a beginning, it had a peak, and it had an end. Does it make sense? And so if you think about problems as just part of life that start, they have a peak, and they stop, you'll realize that whatever you're going through, whatever you're experiencing in your life, it will end, you will get out of it, you will escape, you will be better off at the end, you will have learned something, and it's okay. This is a part of life. So it's actually a blessing in disguise, because when you get over there, you can tell all the people that are stuck on this side, hey, I got through it. You know what I mean? And that really helps you, and it also helps them, because lots of people experiencing the same things that you experience. I don't actually think there's a new obstacle under the sun. Right? Number two, that brings us to that. Your obstacle is actually a blessing in disguise, right? And why is that? It's an opportunity, right? If you look at a mountain, climbing a bigger mountain is an opportunity to grow your mountain climbing skills, if nothing else, right? Every time you run into something you don't know how to do, you're going to learn new things that are going to help you break through, that are going to help you break through to a new level. The other day I was talking to a gentleman who's in my recruiting boot camp. We have a 6-figure recruiting boot camp I run once a month, and we have a group right now of a little over 100 students in it that I'm teaching them 6-figure recruiting skills, right? So there's this guy on here, he's used to selling high-ticket stuff, really good guy, really good at selling, but he's always used to bringing people to him through processes that screen people out, right, who he would need to learn some more rapport skills in order to build rapport with everyone, right? And so to him, he's like, I'm great at selling, which he is, if he's got the right people there. But what about when the right people aren't there? How does he deal with that? And so there's a level of skill he's never dealt with before. And so part of the boot camp, it's like, man, this was like a wake-up call, right? Because there's other people there that are not experiencing the problems he's experiencing, right? So the reality is that obstacle, I put him in an environment that forces him to learn new skill. It's a blessing in disguise. And when you go through something you've never gone through before, you gain new skills that you couldn't have gotten if you hadn't done that. And so it's a blessing. Number three, you want to actually increase the level of pressure on yourself and increase the number of obstacles. You don't want to escape obstacles. Look, if you want a problem-free job, right, go get a cleaning job and clean the floor at some store, right? Go clean the floor or go get a cleaning job where you're cleaning things you're working as like a maid for somebody, right? Or go get some job that just requires mechanical tasks where you never have to learn anything, right? That is a job with very little problems, but it also has very little pay. And so if you want to reduce your number of problems, you're going to reduce your number of pay, you're going to reduce the number of breakthroughs, you're going to reduce the amount of joy that you have in your life. And so I would increase the pressure, I wouldn't decrease it. I would increase the problems, I would increase the failure, I wouldn't decrease it. Because when you fail more, you succeed more, you prosper more, and it's okay if you fail. Look, try to tell a baby that doesn't understand any language yet, right, that it's a bad idea to try to walk because you're going to fall down and hit your head, right? Number one, they're not going to listen to you. Number two, if you did explain it to them, they wouldn't care. They'd try to walk anyway. Why? Because they see you walking, right? That's obstacles. Obstacles are a normal part of life. You have to go through obstacles to learn to walk, to learn to talk, to learn to read. At one point in your life, you overcame lots of obstacles, right? So I would increase the number of them, increase the pressure on yourself, increase the things you have to learn, increase the breakthroughs, right? That's principle number 3. Principle number 4 is to operate in faith, all right? Now, I talk about this all the time, and the reason is because if you're creating anything, if you're an entrepreneur, you are operating based on something that hasn't happened yet. You're creating something over here, and you're over here, and none of this has happened yet. And so you're assuming that it can happen, and to do that, you have to imagine things as if they are that aren't yet. You have to actually create evidence for things that don't exist yet. You have to operate in faith. And if you don't operate in faith, who's going to follow somebody that doesn't believe, right? Raise your hand. You can sit there if you want to follow somebody that has no faith in anything, right? People follow people with vision, and to have vision, you have to have faith, because vision is seeing something that ain't there yet. And so it doesn't matter if you're a spiritual person, you got to have faith in your future, you got to have faith in what you're doing, you got to have faith in your ability to overcome it. And what faith is it's the evidence of things that don't exist yet. And so you're creating things in your mind and operating as if they're going to happen. And when an obstacle appears, what faith does is it sees that you're here, there's a mountain, and that on this other side of the mountain, you're going to be fine. That's what faith does, is it realizes that there is a point in time in the future when everything's okay. And if you realize that when you're running into things, it doesn't matter if the bank comes and repossesses your car, or if you lose all your money, or if your business falls apart, or if you're doing something that's working and it's not working, or if your relationship falls apart. It's a part of life. These things happen. Operate in faith. There's something better in the future, down the road, across the mountain. There's something better for you, right? If something releases from your life, it opens up a door to something better. And that's what I like to say. It's like you take all this negative energy you have, you just cast it out there, and you just say, hey, I'm giving it to the universe. And then you go out and you operate in faith. You open a door, you step through, and you see that on the other side of the mountain, over there, you're going to climb through it. And when you get over, there's something great over there for you. Maybe it's a mansion that's waiting for you. Maybe it's a better relationship that you didn't have before. Maybe it's something that you couldn't even imagine. So good. So that's the next principle, is to operate in faith, which has to do with principle number 5, which is to continue to focus on your outcome. Look, you can't stop what you're doing and just focus on your problems. When you focus on your problems, here's what it's like. I want you to imagine this. You've got this big mountain and an obstacle, and then you've got several more mountains, and then off there, you've got the real vision that you want to accomplish, right? And in the way you're looking, and all you can see is this big mountain. But what focusing on problems is like doing, it's like if you have like a rock at the beginning of the mountain, and you just pick up this tiny rock, and you just hold it in front of your eyes like this. It looks huge if you hold a rock in front of your face like this, right? But it's a stepping stone as a part of the mountain. Problems happen to everybody. Look, they're little things. They're very unimportant. One of my favorite things to do every time I run into a problem and it just seems giant, I'm like, gosh, that's a big problem, is I go and I watch the beginning. There's this movie. It's called Contact. It has Jodie Foster in it, right? And you know what? Like, this isn't my favorite movie in the world. I like it, but the beginning of that movie, what it does is it has this bit where it has like a camera focused, and they're looking through a telescope, and then it backs out, and it shows like how the planet, and then it backs out of our solar system, and you can't see the planet, then it backs out of our galaxy, and it goes to like the center of the universe, and there's galaxies flying by. And I like to just watch the beginning of that movie and then say, my problem's somewhere off in a speck of time on a tiny planet that truthfully doesn't matter at all. Look, your problems are not huge. They're tiny. It's a part of existence to have problems. Literally, just let go, focus on your outcome, focus on the big picture, and your problem will just appear to be a little part of that, and it's just maybe something you need to work through right now. Now, principle number 6 is this, is when you run into obstacles and you continue doing something that's not working, you don't want to just continue doing the same thing, right? Now, Einstein, I think, people always quote Einstein. I don't know if he's the one that actually said this, but it's where you're doing the same thing over and over again with expecting different results is what's crazy, right? I don't know if that's actually his definition of crazy or if he said that, but it's a good thing. If you are doing the same thing over and over again in a way that's equal, in other words, you're not adjusting it and you're expecting the world to change, the world is relatively the same as it was a minute ago, and probably you're going to keep getting the same results. And so what you want to do is you want to focus on your outcome, but don't focus on your method. Adjust your method. You want to refocus your method and then try again. And then when you run into an obstacle, you want to adjust, refocus, and try again. But don't mistake a failure with not learning a skill yet, because the two are different. You know, somebody might be doing something like connecting with people to build their business, and maybe they're just still bad at connecting with people, and they need to actually adjust their skill, not the strategy. But sometimes it's actually a problem with the strategy, and you need to adjust the strategy, right, and learn a new skill, and that's okay, but you need to learn through feedback, through mentors, through having the right people around you what the difference is. So again, you got the mountain over there, and it's like if you're climbing up a mountain and all of a sudden you just encounter a giant wall with nothing to grab. A smart rock climber would probably look around and see if there's a way around that. They're not going to try to climb up a wall with nothing to hold on to. But maybe if they have some tools, they can put some handholds in there and then they could climb up the wall. The point is, though, is you want to adjust your strategy when it's not working and when you can adjust it to get a better result. And when you adjust it, you're going to get a more prosperous result. Now, here's point number 7. When there's a door that opens, when there's a path that opens, when there's opportunity that opens, when a mentor appears in your life and they reach their hand out and they say, hey, are you open? I want you to open the door and step through it. Don't ignore opportunities in your life. People all the time, they pray and they send out to the universe and they say, give me opportunity, give me opportunity, give me opportunity. And then an opportunity appears and they're skeptical. A mentor appears and they're skeptical and they're hard-hearted and they close the door in their heart and they're not open to actually receive what they're supposed to get in their life. And if you have a door open in time and it's like beyond that door, there's like all the prosperity you could ever imagine and you're like, I'm not going to step through that because I know everything. Well, your knowing everything got you exactly where you are right now. And I think as a human being, for me, hey, look, I'm full of errors. That's just the truth. I'm not organized. I'm late to everything, right? I'm still working on stuff I was working on like 20 years ago. The reality is that as a human being, you are full of errors. You have things that you're not good at. You're probably not the strongest person in the world. And if you're the strongest person in the world, you're probably not the smartest person in the world too. People are not good at everything, and if you realize that, when a mentor appears, when opportunity appears, when information appears, for heaven's sakes, be humble, right? Receive it. Say, hey, I'm open to it. Come into my life. Help me, right? There is nothing more powerful than a man or a woman that's willing to say, hey, look, I'm humble. Help. And they reach a hand up, somebody reaches their hand down and pulls them up, right? It's okay to have mentors. It's okay to be weak, because if you're always trying to be hard-hearted and egotistical and arrogant about everything, nobody likes arrogance, number one, but number two, you can't grow when you're closed, right? You can't do that, because you need to open your heart. You need to open your mind. You need to be willing to say, you know what, I don't know what to do. Can you help? Reach a hand up, have somebody help you out. That's okay to be open and to step through the doors that will path on your way, because if you don't, you'll just keep hammering yourself against that giant wall and never get through it because you ignored the door that appeared. Does it make sense? Now, number eight, this is important. When you have a breakthrough, when something good happens in your life, when you prosper a little bit more, when you discover a new strategy, when you do step through a door, when you reach a hand up, somebody grabs you and pulls you up, celebrate. You want to celebrate your breakthrough. Look, if you don't celebrate your breakthroughs, if you're not thankful for them, if you don't say thank you, if you're not willing to receive it and to really celebrate and say, yes, I finally got through this, you know what, you're not going to be training yourself really well to appreciate the breakthroughs, right? A lot of people, what they do, they have a breakthrough and then they just complain about how hard it was. The reality is that how hard that was helped you to get there, right? I remember back when I started in network marketing back 2002, I remember how hard it was. It was like I was walking around talking to people and trying to prospect and like sponsor people in my business on sidewalks and stuff. And the reality was it was really difficult to do. But I don't complain about that, because that experience helped me form a foundation of skill that I couldn't have gotten a different way. It helped me have a breakthrough. I'm thankful for it, and I like to celebrate because I had the breakthrough, and now I've got this huge story. You want to celebrate your breakthrough. You want to tell your story. You want to be thankful for it, and if you celebrate your breakthrough and celebrate your success and celebrate your success and celebrate your success, you are going to prosper more. That's it. Period. Now here's the number 9 thing that you could do right now. Number 9 thing you could do right now in order to prosper more in your life and have more breakthroughs. That's to claim your copy of the Daily Shortcut. Just scroll down right now as I'm talking. I said there was 7 things, and you know what? In this episode, there's actually 9. So I over-delivered on that. Right now, I'm going to over-deliver more. When you scroll down, you're going to see a place to put your email address. Put your email in there now, and click the button right now that says, Give me the Daily Shortcut. I want you to do it right now. Right now, scroll down as I'm talking. See that there, and put in your best email, because 5 days a week, we're actually going to send you information. And I promise, if you pay attention to the information, if you do the free exercises, no matter whether you're working with us, whether you buy anything from us, ever in your life or not, you are going to have daily breakthroughs if you just pay attention to the Daily Shortcut, because we're going to give you shortcuts in your life in order to help you become a little bit better, become a little bit more powerful, prosper a little bit more. Right now, scroll down where you see the email field, put in your email, click the button that says Give me the Daily Shortcut, and my friend, I will see you in the next video. I'll see you on the other side of the mountain. I'll see you having that victory in your life, because today is your day to prosper. Today is your day to win. Today is your day to have victory. Today is your day to declare to the universe, I am ready for a mentor right now. Scroll down, put your email in, claim your copy of the Daily Shortcut. We're going to give you an audio PDF and also see how we can help you change your life and create more breakthroughs daily. So right now, go ahead and do that. After you do, write a detailed comment of what you learned, and I will see you in the next episode of the Daily Shortcut.